Yes, I saw it. Yes. Oh. Hello! Hello and welcome back to my library. I am, of course, Nook of the book. How have you been? I see that you're back at the time that we normally see each other, and I'm ready to tell you stories about the Nightsky Syndicate and everything. I do apologize about last week. It was a very, very stressful week, and I needed something to take the edge off, so I hope you do not mind. This week we will continue where we left off, and of course we left off with our friends on Chandor. There on Chandor, they had just found that the god that had been there had been dead, and inside he was being piloted by a little centipede-type worm. They at first thought they had killed them themselves, but after further inspection, they found that the god had been dead for quite some time. They went back to the Hammerstrike general goods, and there were given more information about Hammerstrike's wife and child being taken. He gave further warnings before they continued on to the barracks. At the barracks, they made their way down below. For in the barracks, it had several levels. The topmost level looked like any barracks, filled with administration as well as, of course, dormitories. But next, below that, was a more secure area with kill rooms and traps. And finally, the group came to the bottommost area. And in there, they fought against an evil creature, something beyond what they believed. And with that, they were able to defeat it at great loss of their own. And as they did, a little Twinkie kitty, our Kenku friend, who had been this entire time charging an occult relic with his powers. He took it and threw it into the room with the remaining cultists and guards. When they did, the hand, which was of course the accursed relic, exploded and caused the ceiling to come down. Now, this made it so that they could not, of course, leave, for Twinkie Kitty had basically signed their death warrants, which was horrible. However, luckily, Penna used her shape-changing ability to make her way out of the rubble and towards the upper levels. There, she found that she could get down, but it was still blocked and would take much time, more time than her friends had. And that's when a voice asked her if she would need help. She took it, and with that, a doorway appeared before her, into the room before the collapse. Her friends did not know how it had happened, nor did she. But it did not matter. They were able to escape. And when they did, they found that those who were affected had the worm leave their bodies. Those who had survived, those who were still alive, they were able to survive the infestation. But those who had died during the infestation were no more. Luckily, the group was able to save Hammerstrike's son, but not his mother, for it had turned out that she had been immune to the parasite. And since that was the case, they had to kill her, like many they had before. Still, it was time for celebration, for they had destroyed the monster, and they could finally settle up with Minza. The little gnome smiled as she saw the group coming towards her shop, and she rushed out to greet them, arms wide. And that's when a giant worm creature appeared below her and swallowed her whole. The group was never able to say goodbye. They were never ever able to see her again. For as they looked around to find out where the creature had gone, something launched itself into the sky and out into the void, escaping our friends. The group, with saddened hearts, made their way back to their ship, back into the void, and back on their way to Zimbabwe. Jack had not left, as well as, of course, little Kaylee had not left yet. They were working on keeping the ship shipshape, as well as, of course, looking after the goods on the dock. My friends, many times in life we find ourselves coming across those that bring us joy, lighten our hearts, but in their passing drives us down into the dark deeps of despair. I do not need to tell you, for I myself have lived multiple lifetimes, have loved multiple people, and have lost scores of those I care about. In the end, it is not about how much time we had with those we care about, but what we did with the time that mattered. So it says in the book. So I say, for I am Nook of the book. Now, according to the book, it says it is time for you to leave, and one should not overstay their welcome. So, until next time, my friends, you are always welcome in my library. But please leave. Until next time.